Okay, we'll call the meeting of the Sign Advisory Committee to order at 9 a.m. on December 8th, 2020. As a preliminary matter, this is Chris Young, Chair. Permit me to confirm all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Kevin Kuster.
Here.
Ben Norman.
Here.
Paul Wolf. Paul Wolf.
I see you.
I see him. Mark Catone.
Here.
Okay. Paul, can you hear us? Paul? Okay. Well, we have quorum regardless. We know Paul's there. We'll check him in later. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Kathy Flynn.
Present.
And anticipated speakers on the agenda, please respond in the affirmative. Kathy, do you want to list those since I don't have?
I do. I have Mark Voigt, Kara Marquis, Sherry Ramus for right now. And I think I'm going to email Paul and tell him to log off and log back on. That might help.
Okay. We'll continue with quorum as it is.
Yep.
Okay. So good morning. This is the open meeting of the Sign Advisory Committee. It's being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of the COVID of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we've been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For the meeting, the SAC is convening by video conference via the Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note this meeting is being recorded and all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. We're now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any further comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Okay. So let's turn to the first item on the agenda, which would be the approval of minutes or the adoption of the agenda. Would somebody like to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
All right. Mark, you want a second? Ben, you've made the motion. Mark, you want a second?
Second.
Okay, for roll call vote, Kevin, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Ben?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Paul? Paul. Well, I'm in favor, so that carries. And the approval of the minutes from the November 3rd meeting. Would somebody like to approve those?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Take a roll call vote. Ben, are you in favor?
In favor.
And Mark?
Aye, yes.
Kevin,
Aye.
I'm in favor. Paul, are you?
Mr. Chair, it looks like he's left. He might have gotten my email.
Okay. Well, it carries. So now we'll move to the first item on the agenda. Assuming nobody's here for public comment on items that aren't on the agenda. Is there anybody here for that reason?
I don't see anybody.
Okay. So first application is 49 Main Street, represented by the town.
So Mr. Chair, Mark Voigt is here to speak on this.
Okay. Hi, Mark. You have the floor.
Just asking him to unmute.
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for not being here, for being there. Yeah, this is, I'm coming in a little bit later on this particular project, but I wanted to really get your thoughts about it. It's pretty typical sign for entryways into villages and communities. So if you have questions about the paperwork or the implementation, let me know. But otherwise, Ray Sylvia, our sign manager, is going to be the one overseeing it. So you'll see the consistency of this type of sign as you enter the different villages.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just want to let you know that Paul just came back and I'm going to see if we can hear him. Paul? Paul, can you hear us?
Okay.
Well,
All right. Well, he'll be able to follow along, hopefully. Does anybody, let me ask Mark, do you have any questions or comments?
Sorry, are we looking at just this one sign at the triangle then? Is that correct?
Should be, yes.
Okay.
Is there a drawing of the sign? I know we know what these look like. I just like height wise and so on.
I think it's
Not a drawing, but there's a typical size.
typical size. Okay.
so. Yeah. Thanks, God.
I guess typical size. Do we know the height of it, Mark?
I don't have to off the top of my head.
It's and so it will say Sconset. Strangely enough, I guess if I was to render an opinion on this, with arrow, okay. It feels a little heavy for that park. Like as you approach the village, I think that park is actually really kind of sweet in the way it's developed over the last few years and the daffodils that are planted in there in the spring. And maybe it's the graphic that's been presented, but I feel like if it's one of those full height signs, it's a little overwhelming to the approach to the village. That this might be one that wants to sit a little lower. Is it something that's a little different? Is it a fence sign? We're looking at a split rail there too, right? I mean, I'm just wondering, there's a little slightly softer, more gentle approach given the character of the Sconset village. It feels, I don't know, feels like a sign. It just feels a little much. I know there are similar signs like to the pointing to the Steamboat Wharf, and somehow they seem to work there, maybe because they're nestled in privet. I'm not totally sold on this design. I don't have a problem with maybe a sign being there of some sort, but I'm not sure if it's the right approach. I don't know if other commissioners share the same concern.
All right, thanks, Mark. Ben, do you have any thoughts?
I think that if this didn't come up at our advisory board, I would have driven right by it and thought it was always there. So in some ways, I feel like even if it is a little heavy-handed, it's so normal to see these things that I would probably not even notice it. Could it be more subtle? I'm thinking of the Mattakit village, entering village of Mattakit sign that Lord knows if anybody ever got approval for that thing, but it's a little lower, a little bit more discreet. But, I think this is so standard, that I'm not gonna have a problem with it. But I agree with Mark, it could be more delicate, but due to its standard nature on the island, I'm fine with it.
Okay, Kevin?
I would agree with Mark. I think the two post thing is a little overwhelming. I think if you're going to do another sign in Wisconsin, it should be similar to the one that already exists, which I think is a little smaller, and being on the single post is a little softer. I'm afraid that what's happened here is this has become sort of a highway approach in Wisconsin, and I think it's a little unfortunate. So I would rather see the same thing that's on the other end of the village, or something different that's a little smaller. That's all.
Okay. Is Paul able to join us yet?
Paul? He's unmuted. I don't know if he can hear us.
Okay. So I'll speak. I think I have the same sort of concern as Mark. And it's interesting that the sample sign that they show is, not a double posted sign. It's a little bit more discreet as far as the armature goes, I think. But I also wonder what everybody thinks about if this were located on the right side of the road, sort of at the end of the bike path, and had the arrow pointing more, up, straight up, indicating that you'd want to go straight instead of bearing off to the left there. If that would be a better visual. I mean, there's already signage on that side of the street, and if it would be, less clutter into that triangle, which kind of appears as a park, and this would be the first thing that we would approve blocking that vista. So, does anybody have a thought on that, or Mark? Would you want to address that? Mark Voigt. Mark. Yeah, Mark. What do you think? Marketone.
All right. Well, I think that's a good suggestion, Chris. I guess
Yeah.
my only reservation there is that it I don't know if we've acquired some new signage there on the right as depicted in the photo. It does feel a little cluttered there as well, and I don't know if one sign will screen the other. But it is probably better placed, more appropriately placed on the right side, especially as you're approaching the village anyway, from a vehicular standpoint. So I'd probably support that location.
Okay. Kevin, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think it could probably go either way. I think it's totally inappropriate that we have that day glow yellow sign on there, and I know Mark can take that down with one of his crew members. So go for it, Mark.
Right. So
I can take that down myself. My truck.
Yeah, if we replaced that sign with the sconset armature like in your sample photo, that would be an upgrade. Ben, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, Chris, I think that's a great idea to put it on the right-hand side of the road. But I also would just recommend to Kathy that I think that Sconset Advisory Board should really see this, because this is their backyard and they might have a lot to say about it inside. So I would like this to also be seen by Sconset Advisory Board before it goes in front of the HTC.
Okay, so should we?
Motion to hold for revisions
Have it.
and to review from the Sconset Advisory Board.
Revisions and
Can I say something?
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I heard the motion for revisions. I hate to interrupt, but can we leave it with the same application to go to the Sconset Advisory Board? I mean, we're happy to, incorporate whatever changes you guys feel. And this has come to us. You can't hear me?
I can hear you, Mark. I think we can.
Okay. So I would just ask to have the application forwarded to the Sconset Advisory Board because we would like their input on this particular approach. We are doing it in concert with Sconset Group. This has been requested by them, and so we do have some input from them. And I'm not sure. My inkling is that it may be a bit of for scenic and identification at the same time, because the park is such a nice park there. So we want the sign to fit in. So I appreciate your comments. I had the same thought about putting it to the right-hand side, because more of a traffic control thing, because you've got a sign in the middle that says Sconset, and you got a road to the right and a road to the left. Which one should you take if you're new to Sconset? But I think if maybe it comes out further, but I think there was an idea to have this as a scenic piece of the park.
Okay, so we can send it up with this application, but I think it would be wise. Ben, are you on that committee?
No,
Okay, I think it would be wise to have our comments go with the application, just so that they understand sort of where we're coming from, so it doesn't get caught in a loop of, we get their thoughts and then we input our thoughts and then it goes back for their thoughts. So let's let them know what we're thinking, which is that the right side of the road is more appropriate, and maybe, if there's a way to, Mark, I don't know what you think about that crossing sign, if that was just part of the state guidelines, but that's, one of those signs that we feel is a little bold for our liking. So
Yeah,
that's
me too. So I can check in on that.
okay. All right. So Kevin, you had made a motion to hold for revisions. Is that how it was stated?
Yeah, but I'm fine with, Mark's recommendation. We can just hold for further information and review from the Wisconsin Advisory.
Okay. So do we have a second to that?
I'll second that.
Okay. Mark, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Kevin?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
I'm sorry, Paul, are you on now? Okay.
He was on and then he dropped off.
Okay.
And
I'm in favor, so that motion passes. So thank you, Mark. We'll see you again.
All right. Thank you, guys.
thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Mark.
Bye. So the next item on the agenda is 115 Pleasant Street, a projecting sign.
This is for Glidden's Island Seafood on the Pleasant Street side.
Okay,
A double-sided blade sign.
got it.
It'll be carved and painted by Chatham Sign Shop in Chatham, which always does very good work.
Okay. Got it. So that's 4.2 square feet. So that's within the guidelines for a two-story building, just for everyone's knowledge. Let's go down. Kevin, do you have any thoughts?
No, I think this sign is appropriate and a good-looking sign. The only other comment I have is that there's a lot of signs on this building, particularly on the other side, and I don't know if.
So they are
anything can be done to
interested
clean
in a
that
new
up.
sign on the other side. There's open sign, they have a lot of signs on the other side, and I was wondering what, they've been there for a long time. And we expect that to be an issue.
Okay. So are they going to be replacing signage on the front of the building?
Yeah, on the parking lot
On the-
side?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna do that after this.
Okay. So
And whatever you recommend for the other side, I can pass on to them and recommend to them.
Okay. All right. We'll take that into consideration then. So, Mark, do you have any comments?
No concerns.
All right. And Ben?
Looks great.
Okay. So I think your comment's good, Kevin, with respect to, seeing the front of the building, or the parking lot side, I'm sorry, call it the front, cleaned up. And do we want to incorporate that into a motion, or would somebody like to make a motion on this?
I can try. I would make a motion to approve the signage on Pleasant Street side of the building. And I think we can hold review on the other side until the applicant's ready. And if it's, I guess if it's not coming relatively shortly, we could always do it through enforcement, but I think they'll take care of it. So my recommendation would be to move to approve the sign on the Pleasant Street side.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second that. Oh,
Okay. Thanks, Ben. We'll put it to a vote. Mark,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Ben,
aye.
and I approve. Thanks, Kara. That motion carries.
What is allowed on the other side?
It would be a combination. You should look at the combination guidelines. Basically, a wall sign would be the appropriate thing to put on the entrance.
Okay.
So
And
That's-
only one or two?
I think only one. It doesn't really fall under a corner lot condition according to the definition and the guidelines. So I think one would be the easy answer, in my opinion.
So they would need to take down like their open sign and their hours.
Yeah, those signs aren't allowed anyway. So
Okay.
by other definitions or guidelines in the sign book. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
all right, thanks. So we'll move to the next item, which is Arrowhead Drive. There's two applications, it looks like, for the same location. Sherry, would you like
Yeah.
to take us through?
This is a brand new construction. I don't know if you've been out there. It's the building's enormous, but they 6 by 10, 6 foot by 10 inches. They're both exactly the same. One's just smaller than the other. The smaller one is going above the entrance for the public. The larger sign is on the side of the building facing the airport runway, but that's where they get deliveries and stuff, evidently.
Okay.
It's
so
not
our-
actually finished yet. The building is not actually finished yet. As you can see in one of the pictures, the orange fencing is up, so I couldn't get that close. But I did speak with the owner, so he is on island. If there's any changes to be made, I can get back to him.
Okay. Okay, so that the picture we're seeing now is the larger of the two quarter boards.
Yeah, they're exactly the same. Both hunter green with white lettering.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, and where does the other one go? Just so we can see
One is
that.
going above the front entrance where people go in, the public.
See it.
The
Mr.
smaller
Chair?
one, and then
Yes.
Sorry if I may clarify. I had a problem loading the larger application for some reason. It didn't copy over onto my jump drive. So
Right.
that's all I have I could find. And I actually have
Okay.
a picture of the side of the building. But I don't think that's the site for where the large sign is going, right, Sherry?
the side of the building is the large sign. The smaller building's going above the entrance.
But I don't think this is the correct side, because it doesn't look like it from that.
Oh, I'm on a phone, so I can't see the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
just for clarification purposes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Well, it looks like it's these are roughly 5 square foot. Not roughly, they are 5 square foot signs. So certainly, certainly small enough per the guidelines. Does anybody have? Let's see, Mark, do you have any comments?
No concerns.
Ben?
Can I just see the sign again real quick? I think I did have a comment. I just wanted to me look at the actual sign. Yeah, so I'm seeing that, it has that nice border with that quarter rounds, but then the green actually squares up. I don't like that. That doesn't work for me. I'd like to see that get quarter rounded off.
Okay,
I know
that's
it's a
easy.
small detail on a big ugly building, no offense, but
No offense taken.
okay, but I think that would make a nice cleaner sign.
Okay.
All right. Nice catch, Ben. Kevin?
No concerns with the sign. I am curious of what this business is.
Back Natural is a dispensary, the second
Oh, okay.
dispensary.
Oh, good. Well, welcome to the neighborhood.
Well, it's not mine. I'm just doing the sign. I'm just doing the sign. It is a corner lot. I heard you mention that, but it is a corner lot out there in that coffin pit development area.
Yeah.
The building incorporates one side, well, two sides of one corner lot, if that makes sense.
Got it. Yeah, I think, the guidelines allow for two signs. In this case, two wall signs seem appropriate as opposed to requiring one to be a projecting sign. So, and the corner lot provision gives us, language to support that. So that's good.
Okay.
So do we have a motion?
Motion approved
Thanks, Mark.
with the changes as suggested by Ben Norman.
Of
Perfect.
course.
Okay. We have a second?
Second that.
Thanks, Ben. Kevin, are you in approval?
All right.
And Mark
Aye.
and Ben?
Aye.
And I am as well. Thank you, Sherry. So that will be for both signs. We'll just consider that vote duplicated for the
Okay.
second application.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'll make a vote the same and we're all set.
Yes, you are.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye now.
Bye.
Hi. So
Okay.
there's nobody here to represent these two signs. The next,
I would have to abstain from this because I'm actually part of the new school community and they had asked me for some input on how to put this application together. If you think it's appropriate, I can answer questions if the board has any without trying to be biased, or I could just keep my mouth shut. It's I would defer to, I guess I'll give up the chair to Kevin. Chris.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Chris, maybe you could just walk through both of these applications, because where I was
Sure.
confused is where are the signs at the same entrance? Are they different entrances or?
No. Okay. Yeah. So there's two entrances, one for Strong Wings, which, yeah, you're seeing on the screen right now. And then probably 150 yards down the road, there's the entrance to the new school complex.
Okay.
And so they've got HDC approved fencing, which is when the fencing is approved to run all the way between the two entrances. Right now there's split rail, but it's more of like, I think they call it a Morgan fence as the, yeah, you can see the design of the fence there. For now, they've been able to put them up at the entrances, and the idea is to put signage between those horizontal rails, one sign at each location with basically the same sort of style, but two distinctly different signs.
Are they just floated in there, or are they?
No, they were talking about having them sort of fastened above and below so that they wouldn't swing in the wind, so to speak.
Okay. All right. Any comments from anyone else? Mark?
Was Chris, I assume, was there a rock sign or something that's obviously going to be removed? Maybe that's what I'm seeing missing on the lawn there.
Yes, that's correct. That got moved.
Okay. and it's a blue on white. I don't think I have any concerns.
Ben,
Concerns?
we have Paul? No, Paul.
Yeah, we don't have.
I don't have any concerns with either one of these. So is there a motion?
Motion approved.
A
All
second
right, all
that.
those. Okay, all those in favor by roll call, Mark,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
I'm in favor also. That passes. Both of them. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. Do I take the chair back, or how does this work?
It's all yours.
All right. Thank you, guys. So we have one more application, which is Michael Miner, 15 Amelia Drive.
Mr. Chair, Karen Russell is here to represent.
Okay.
Hello. I'm just opening a little micro gallery and putting a sign up.
Okay. So 15 Amelia. Let's just see. Okay. So these are applied letters to the existing fascia, basically.
Yeah, I'm just matching the other letters on the building.
Okay. Got it. Kevin, do you have any comments?
I think it meets the guidelines and fits in with the rest of the building, so I have no concerns.
And Mark?
I believe there's a master sign plan with this, and the installation and the color is consistent with that. But I thought that the signage would all be Times Roman, which it is, I think, on the existing center and far left units in the photos.
Got it.
I think there's another photo that we can see that in here.
Yeah. Do
There you go.
you, Karen, are you aware of what we're talking about with that? The font being a little different, meaning it has sort of little serifs or, detail fins, if you will, at the edges of the lettering, meaning it's a more traditional look. Is that something that you had considered or can't modify?
I was just using the most basic font.
Okay.
So I didn't realize, I guess, the difference.
Okay. Is it something that you could adjust the application to reflect that font Times Roman, like the dental application or dental sign?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm making them myself, so I was hoping for like the easiest,
Okay. Well,
like letter to cut, but I could try.
they can be slight, but they just need to be, present. So Ben, did you have any comments?
No, I agree with Mark. I think the lettering needs to match the dental office lettering.
Okay. And Kevin, I'm sorry, did you weigh in already?
Yeah,
Okay, that's right.
I would
Yeah.
agree with the font. I didn't realize there was a master sign plan.
Okay. All right. So would someone like to make a motion?
Motion approved with the lettering to match or be consistent with the master sign plan, serifed.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll
Second.
second that.
Great. We'll put it to a vote. Kevin, are you in favor?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Okay, I am as well. So thank you, Karen. Just take that advice to heart. It's approved with the Times Roman font.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I believe that's everything on the agenda with the exception of enforcement. Kathy, if you want to discuss anything?
I sent out 3 enforcement letters. I think I CC'd all of you, or so I forwarded them to you. There were the nylon flag signs, freestanding signs. I sent them out on Monday, yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Thank you.
Dairy Flake had an open one. There was a Christmas trees, which I believe is Arrowhead Nursery, but I put unknown because it doesn't always specify on the sign, and then the bake shop. Those actually all came in as citizens' complaints.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, the bake shop's been hit on this before.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing, Kevin. I just didn't know if in this COVID period where we're kind of allowing, more things to exist than usual, if we would overlook it, but it's probably better than doing nothing, especially because this is a different form of signage. This isn't just a sandwich board out front.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that's the right move, Kathy. Thanks.
yeah.
And I'm sure we'll hear back, about the difficult times and et cetera. But so maybe we take a little bit more eased approach to taking the next step, but putting it on record is important.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure Christmas trees, those will be gone by the time enforcement kicks in, I assume. But that's good. Have you been getting any other citizen notices or questions? Just
Occasionally the freedom of speech on personal property, but I really we can't do much about that. The signs downtown, no, because of the emergency order, they extended till March right now. I don't have the exact documentation. I did hear it at the select board meeting. So I tend not to go down and send anything to any of the local businesses downtown because of that. They didn't need COA on approval, but the other ones, these nylon ones, they just have to remove them. And like you said, if they don't, we can cross that bridge, I guess, when we get to it.
Yeah.
But citizens' complaints, I have to act on. I can't not act on them. So.
Right. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have questions, comments, or concerns?
No, the only thing you may have seen that photo I texted out earlier, a terrible photo through my windshield, but I was pleased to see that Vineyard Vines made some effort to do a little display with their windows for the off season. They put a screen in with a couple of like body forms or mannequins with.
Yeah, I was down there this weekend and I saw them putting it up and I'm like, oh, the guys will be psyched.
Yeah. So assuming they're headed there, maybe I don't mind if we sent them a note just saying we appreciate their efforts, and listening to us.
That's great.
Yeah, much better than the blue film that we're putting in the glass.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, great work.
Yeah, and it must have cost a fortune to put in. Putting up the mannequins and the screen in the background, like nothing. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So, good. All right.
Excellent. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So we'll meet in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
Will that
22nd?
put us on the 22nd?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, and then these applications won't go before the board until Tuesday because they met last night.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well,
And also,
good.
and just so you know, the schedule for January through June, they haven't approved yet, but there are several weeks where the HTC doesn't meet at all, like one per month.
Wow.
That affects the new business. So you have this time slot every Tuesday from 9 to 10. If you wanted to get together and discuss something, I could always post an agenda, or if there was a sign you wanted to specifically discuss that didn't fall in line with the new business week, I can post the agenda. So just let me know what you all think.
Okay.
Keep us posted as to applications coming in and we'll figure it out.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. All right. So we just need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
And a second. Everybody in favor, raise your hand.
No, roll
Aye.
call.
Roll call,
Roll
Larry,
call.
fine, Ben, are you okay? Mark,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
motion carries.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.